Hi there. I'd like to share with you a technique I've been using for a couple of years now to balance flying wings. This is a flying wing I've just finished and I've just balanced it. And this technique, it might not be for everybody. If you're squeamish, you might want to look away now. But it's a technique that I find gives you real control over the balance, and it seems very, very accurate. I always find it really difficult to balance wings on your fingertips and knowing exactly where your fingers are underneath. And okay, you could put a spot of something you could feel, but flying wings, in my experience, need to be balanced very accurately if you want them to fly well. So anyway, I found this technique that I use to be really, really good, and I thought I'd share it. It might not be for you, like I say, but anyway, you can decide. The first thing I do is I get some T-pins. I've got some fairly big T-pins here. These are 51mm long. Let me just a standard T-pin, but a bigger size T-pin. And what I do is I mark the position on the end of the wing here where the CG is, and I do that on both wings, wing tips, sorry. And on the plans that I've used to build this, there's two CG points. There's an expert and there's a novice. I always go for the novice. If you want to go for the expert later, that's fine. Now you can see here I've got a little black mark where the balance point is, and I've pushed in a T-pin into that. Now when I built this, I've strengthened the wing now. I've just put in a 1/4 inch square piece of, very small piece of hard balsa, just to give the pin something to get a good grip on. And you can see there that adds very little weight, but it just gives a little bit of a surface. So anyway, I've got the pins in either end on the CG now, and what I've done is I have some special blocks, mounts that I've made up to balance the wing on at the wingtips. Now you can see these, that it's just simply a block of wood with a vertical piece, and I've glued on the top a piece of 1/4 inch dowel, hardwood dowel, and I've just filed a very small little depression in the top of that, so the pins can rest in those and they don't slip out forwards or backwards. Now we'll set this up. I've got my trusty steel blocks, which I seem to use for absolutely everything, and I just put that on the mount and put the mount this end. I'll just adjust the camera now so we can actually see what I'm doing a lot better. Okay, so I've got my two mounts, and we just need to get those at the right distance apart so they are very close to the wingtip but not actually touching, because that will obviously alter our centre of gravity. Now the other thing I do is, this wing is actually balanced, but when I first balance it, I put something like a towel at the back and something at the front. I've got a block here, just goes under the exhaust, so that will stop it tipping too far either way, because the last thing you want is it to be rocking backwards and forwards excessively. Now you can see I've got this balanced on the T-pins. At least you can see this end. I don't think the camera can pick that one up. And if I actually remove the towel and remove the block, you can see this wing will now free rotate, but actually it's balanced very nicely there. Now if I just add a little bit of weight just to show you, got on these silicone tubes here, if I just put that on the back, you can see that takes it right out of balance. So this is balanced very well now. I've used the battery inside, moving it backwards and forwards, And to get it to balance like this actually took minute movements of the battery, just a few millimeters really, backwards and forwards to get it to that point. And you can see that's perfectly balanced now. And like I say, if it's not balanced, I've got a little bit of weight under the front here so it won't nosedive down too far, something under the back. That just allows me to feel confident that it's not going to fall off. Now, I appreciate if this isn't a technique that I would suggest for a fixed wing with a fuselage. It's just too much weight. This is a very light wing, and it's not going to put any strain on those pins and on the wingtips. If you've got something that you care about, scale model you've covered in Oratex or something, maybe you don't want to stick pins in the end. But like I say, for a combat wing like this, I find it works superbly. And it will even work with delta wings where you've got a bit of an angle. You just need to alter the blocks and to make sure that the pins have free movement and it's not binding, the wing isn't binding on the wood. Well, hopefully you can see from this video that this is a technique I really like. I find it smooth, accurate, easy to do. And it might not be for you, and I appreciate that. You might not like sticking pins in your wingtips, but I've never had any damage that I've attributed to that. And at the end of the day, we're talking about combat wings here. We're not talking of scale hurricanes and things like that. So anyway, can't wait to take this out into the field now, see how it flies, and I hope this video helped you, or at least gave you something to think about. So thanks for watching.